Welcome. Happy 2026. This is our planning session, our annual planning session. I want to encourage you. This year, I finally figured out how to do this. Let's donate. Those of you who wish, who have the capacity, who wish to be part of two of the causes, two of the five to which I contribute every month, please join me in donating to Girls on Fire Leaders or On the Inside. Both are incredible causes for which I do work all year. I love the founders. I love the work that they're doing. The information is on our planning page, elenabrower.com/plan 2026. And you can make your donations there. I want to encourage you to make a donation monthly, even if it's $1 a month, $12 for the whole year, $5 a month, $60 for the whole year. You can't imagine how much that means to both of these causes that are supporting women and children. Thank you so much for considering. We've been doing this for many years. Many thousands of people watch each year, whether live or after the fact, and I'm very grateful. I'm very honored to be part of your process. I want you to know. And we're going to start with a reading from Hold Nothing from my book. We are then going to move into some prompts in the guidebook that I have carefully crafted for you. And we'll start in the introduction of Hold Nothing. So join me there if you wish. I'm on page 21 of the Roman numerals in the introduction. Opening a book can be an entrance to new lands within yourself, views and vantage points you may not have yet encountered. In finding our way together in these pages, two simple words will guide us: practice and respect. Practice is fundamental to our conscious evolution. We're always practicing. This is the important part of the first prompt. How to be with ourselves and how to be with each other. Welcoming the settling and quieting of your inner life requires practice, as does treating yourself and others with kindness. Okay, so we're going to start there. And I would like to ask you, how are you practicing being with yourself in this season? How are you practicing being with yourself in this season? And how are you serving others with this practice? I invite you to write. I will give some examples, and I have some readings here from some of my favorite books, of course, as ever. I'm coming in with Charlotte Jo Gobeck and Katagiri Roshi, Guagu, Catherine Thanis, and Norman Fisher. All of these are in my bookshop under Zen Buddhism. I am practicing being with myself by taking more rests. Not easy for me, but necessary. I am practicing making sure that I am sitting in the mornings, no matter how long. I am practicing being very easy with myself when I feel like I've screwed up again. Reminding myself of how human I am. How are you practicing being with yourself in this season? The second part of this question, how are you serving others with your practice? You might not even know how to articulate it, but the way that you walk through the world when you're practicing is palpably different than when you're not. This is not some sort of accusatory finger pointing. This is just a fact of life. When I am practicing, I walk through the world differently. I walk through the world with more kindness, particularly toward myself. That kindness toward myself becomes my transmission. So I want to invite you to just consider this. You don't need to know the answer to this second part. How are you serving others with your practice? That will become apparent over time. You may see it in the behavior of your children. I definitely see it in mine, getting a little more delicious with each passing day as I care for myself. As you're finishing writing, I'll give you another 30 seconds to finish writing this prompt. All right, let's move on to the second question, shall we? The real juice is coming in a few, and we will have a sitting after after this page is completed. We're going to XXIX. The practice of Zazen or Zen meditation, it's not something you have to be doing. I'm just reading from my book. The practice of Zazen has since become a calibrating balm to my movement practices. Around the time of this writing, I received the Zen precepts, thereby entering the stream of teachings in the lineage of Soto Zen. I've taken vows to do no harm, to benefit all beings, to seek nothing, to steep myself in the practice, and to allow the practice to work on me. Just a handful of days before writing this, I had the occasion to visit Eiheiji, which is the temple where this lineage was brought into being by ancestor Eihei Dogen more than 800 years ago. A source of scholarship, maturity, compassion, and dignity, Dogen's words and the practice he encouraged give rise to a certain acceptance of all that is, also known as reality as it is. Just this, precisely as it is. And instead of resisting, I'm learning how to flow and move with reality, to find joy and ease in grave difficulty, gradually dropping who I thought I needed to be, one who was achieving, striving. I'm turning my attention toward humble studentship instead of grabbing and grasping at what I think I need, using the ingredients of my life to engage with my community, to serve others in their awakening, and maybe experience some moments of awakening within myself. Discerning how to be a human is what I'm learning in this field of practice. It may take many lifetimes, but I'm seeing how dropping the previous persona is clearing space and building more capacity for being of benefit in this world. So since I wrote this, I learned another term that some Zen teachers use, being a true person. A true person. What does it mean? Second question, to be a true person on page 2. Undivided in some texts that I've seen, not split between who you are and who you think you should be. Did you hear that? Not split between who you are and who you think you should be. Not rehearsing yourself into the future, nor clinging to a past identity. And here's the question finally. Thank you for your patience. Whom did you think you had to be or become? And how is that shifting? There are several of you who've been with me for 10 years, 15 years, and you've watched as I evolved from being someone who is very concerned with commerce and earning. It's not that I'm not concerned with money anymore. I see money as a vehicle for benefiting the world now. But you've seen how the priorities have shifted in me. Many have asked, how did you do that? How did you do that so smoothly, so seamlessly? Don't you care about what other people think when you change your mind? And no, I don't care what other people think. When I change my mind, I don't care what other people think. When I change teachers, traditions, studies, I don't care. What I care about is how can I benefit the world through the work and study that I do. That's all with which I'm concerned. And so whom did you think you had to be or become, and how is that shifting? I'm going to give you a little bit of space. And to answer your question, Meg, that's a wonderful question, and I'm so happy that you're here. I stopped caring, I think, around 50 years old. I think that is what happened. I think age helps. I think menopause helps. I think looking at a changing body and a changing face and wrinkles and all of this that's changing, I think looking at it and loving every single reality of it helps me to stop caring about what other people think about my choices. I don't give it any mental space anymore. I am only concerned with what I'm doing and what has meaning to me. I won't curse, but I want to. A very sweet, yes, aging helps a lot. Indeed. And yeah, letting the F's go out the window. Exactly. Totally. Let's go to the third question, shall we? Got a lot more to do. Seems like we have a lot of time, but we don't. Write a note of gratitude from your body to you. Okay, let me be very clear about this. So this body is writing me a note of gratitude. Thank you for example. Thank you for upholding your yoga practice. It means the world to stay lithe and limber and long. Thank you for adding in the weights and being so diligent about it. I can see your stats over the course of the year. I can feel it. And my body would say, the strength is vital. I don't know who I'd be without the strength training. I think my body would say that. I want to point out something in the chat that I think is worth noting. Vicky is 65. I've become a little bit close with her in the recent weeks, and she has taken this moment in time to find her voice, find her footing, let go of some confining structures, let's say, without divulging too much, responding to herself instead of denying herself and that voice inside. That's very inspiring. I read it out loud because I want you watching to be or listening to be inspired by this. And I hope that it serves. I'll give you a few more moments to allow your body to thank you for your recent practices. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It can be heartbreaking. I feel very sad sometimes when I think about the many years that I didn't listen to that voice, the many choices that I made while I wasn't listening. Very human of me and you to have this experience. As you wrap up this piece of writing, we'll move on to page 3. This is kind of a longer conversation. I'm excited to have it. And why don't you just go ahead and raise your digital hand when you've finished with this prompt from your body to you, this note of thankfulness. Okay, wonderful. I'm seeing you now. Terrific, Christina. Nice to see you, honey. Okay, great. Great. Returning to page 3. Reading and sitting. We will take some time to sit together now. I'm showing that page if you're watching, if you're listening. And take the next few moments to sort of arrange your seat well. Allow your spine to rise tall. And allow your posture to kind of emerge naturally. The sides of your waist lengthening, the crown of your head reaching skyward, your eyes softening, your jaw softening. Just allowing yourself to find some uprightness. And you'll start to notice how the practice begins to kind of manifest itself to emerge in this shape that your body is taking. Of course, you can close your eyes. If you've been with me for any length of time, you'll maybe gently invite your eyes to open and allow them to take in a point on the surface about a foot or two in front of you. Practicing being present in the world and also keeping some of your attention inward within yourself. Such a gift to have the skill and practice of doing both simultaneously. And we'll just be here for 2 minutes. Allow yourself to settle. Feel the gratitude from your body. Feel the energy of this day or evening. And begin to feel this uprightness in your body as the energy of a mountain. Imagine tectonic plates so far below where you are right now have moved. Energies have shifted in your life, all your life. And slowly, what has emerged is a body of dignity, all kinds of life in it, on it, within it, around it. Sort of metaphorical mountain. There are animals, all life forms, plants, trees, flowers, rocks, all the stone people. There is sunlight, rain, snow in certain places, big winds, lightning, splitting trees, creating death and new growth simultaneously. You, as this mountain, a force of stability. And you can consider right now in your life how and whom you serve as this mountain, as this stabilizing, steadying force. And feel all the life within you that moves, changes all the time. The mountain rises, height is created, and then same time, erosion happens. Your skin changes, your bones change, shapes change. And how in this very seat right now are you creating an energy of capacity, willingness to be with all that is changing in this mountain that you are, all the ecosystems and cultures and identities that you are, all that is changing. Do you find it easy to stay present to what is shifting? In this structure at this time? We'll take just one more minute here, and I'll read to you from this wonderful book that I will make sure you have a reference to. Each time you notice yourself criticizing one of your characteristics and wishing you could change, remind yourself that you are always changing, that you don't need to force change. The mountain will transform in its own time. Each time you notice yourself criticizing one of your characteristics and wishing you could change, remind yourself that you are always changing, that you don't need to force change. The mountain will transform in its own time. Very gently open your eyes and relax your posture. And begin to write, if you wish, what might it mean to stay present to this shifting? When I taught this on retreat last week, some of you were there. I wonder if it's landing differently now that you're in your house and a little more focused. A lot of folks came up to me after in person and said, wow, that is really hard. I am feeling the sort of erosion of my youth, and it's very scary. And I'm having trouble staying present to it. I'm falling into all these rabbit holes as to how to stay young, what can I use? What can I buy? What can I do? So I want to invite you to just consider what it might mean for you right now to stay present to this shifting without trying to change anything, knowing that everything is already always changing. I'll be quiet for a moment. See these three. They're cute. They're all writing. It's the best. I know you're writing, and I respect that. I'm going to read the next piece. It's from page 55 in the Mountains and Rivers Sutra workbook. I will, again, make sure that this is on my list for you. We tend to romanticize formation and resist erosion. Erosion creates soil, makes rivers, allows life to travel. Erosion creates soil and makes rivers and allows life to travel. Think about that on your face. Life is traveling. Wow. Wow. What we call decline might be redistribution. What we call loss might be the movement of nutrients. What if my aging is a movement of nutrients into my kid who's 19 and finally actually really starting to get it? What if the movement of nutrients within you, what if you don't even know to whom you're transmitting? What if you are of so much benefit and you have no idea? What if that were true? Our energy, influence, body, voice, all are changing. Thank you, Norman Fisher, forever. We're touching on encouragement here, and we're going to touch on it a little bit more in the next and final section of this session. Encouragement is not about soothing ourselves or others away from change. It's practicing presence amidst the inevitability of change. Keep that word close, encouragement. What does this mean to you today, all of this? What does this mean to you? How is this landing with you? And furthermore, what is metaphorically eroding in your world? And how can you be more easeful with it? Dang it. Everyone here is laughing, giggling in the background. So I'll give you a moment to write. What is metaphorically eroding in your world, and how can you be more easeful with it? It's nice to write it down. Like, even the things that really hurt, sting, are confusing. That's eroding. It's painful. It feels sad. I'll give you a few more moments to write. I'm going to read the next prompt, but I want you to know that I'm probably going to ask you to come back to this a few more times, particularly after the next section of this session. This mountain that you are, and we will sit again too. As this mountain, for whom can you be a force of stability this year? I have plans to be a force of stability for my kid, even though he doesn't need it. I'd like to be a force of stability for my partner, for Jimmy, for my friends. You've probably got a few folks. And Misha, how human of you that feels sad. I'm reading the comments for those of you who are just listening. Misha is feeling that she has wasted her efforts and gave a lot and doesn't have anything to show for it, and she's exhausted. I'd like to invite you to raise your digital hand if you can identify or are resonating with anything Misha's just said, this sense of exhaustion and having given and nothing to show for it. We have 19, 20 hands raised, Misha. You are not alone. And, you know, every single, even though as I've written, I don't think we need to like begin again, start again. What we're really doing is actually unearthing from within us what is beautiful and true. And what's beautiful and true is that you have been giving, and you can now, Misha, know where your lines are, where your boundaries are. Any moment is a chance for you to reveal this wondrous goodness from within you again. To take this sad feeling and make it into medicine again. To allow yourself to feel so full from your own giving, to know that what you need is coming or is already present. As hard as this is. I had that same question. Anna G, thank you so much for commenting. Deepening gratitude for even the glimpse of awareness, the alchemy of the sadness, evolving into love and compassion. And even more, yes, totally, even more, the alchemy is really the revelation, like the emergence of this love and compassion. We forgot it's already in there. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's been in there unchanged since moment one, since we were little tiny girls with pigtails. Some boys in here, pardon me for saying girls, but I'm speaking of Misha. And to Elizabeth's question, is effort ever wasted? I agree with that. And I don't want to correct you, Misha. I'm not correcting you. I'm acknowledging that this is how it feels, that your effort was wasted. And I am also saying, along with Elizabeth and many others, your effort is not wasted. Your kid was watching the whole time. Your kid saw it all. And what's coming through in this situation, because I happen to know, what's coming through is a young woman, your child, who knows, who sees, and is making assessments and analyses all the time, and will become someone who gives, who loves, who cares, just like you did. Pamela is holding your hand. That's right, Lori. What if there hasn't been a result from the effort, but we want to keep trying and not give up? What if? What a beautiful life that is, isn't it? I can sleep well with that. Anyone want to write a name, or you can just whisper it to yourself if you like, for whom you are going to be a force of stability this year? I'd love to see you in the chat if you want to. And then we're going to go to page 4. We got a me, we got a daughter, we got a son, we got a me. We got a nephew, a niece, aging mom, me, babies. Beautiful. parents, mother, son, daughters, wife, me, clients, parents, boys, husband, communities, 4 kids, Scott, husband, sons and daughter, parents, mommy, 14-year-old stepdaughter, Karina, nice work. Kids, partner, Kathleen, granddaughters, aunt and community. Oh, my inner child. Yes, little Eileen and Makesh and Lensa and Valerie and all the girls on fire. Can you imagine? I'm going to take a little momentary detour and say that we've been working with the Girls on Fire for well over a decade. And your support, you listening and watching this planning session for 2026, your support is helping a bunch of girls go to camp. Camp is days and days of being mentored by girls who've already been through this program. It's not about all of us walking in and saving. It's about the girls who've been trained who are saving in their own communities. That's the magic of the Girls on Fire leaders. Do not sleep on this project. Contribute even $1 or $5 monthly. It is so important to this world to see girls get trained to mentor other girls. Do you read me? And Kathleen, thanks for rescuing the animals too. Beautiful. All right, let's go to page 4. I'm excited. Final page. This is about respect. We're going back to Hold Nothing. I'm going back to the introduction. Alongside practice. Page 21, the Roman numerals. That's what I'm saying, Ruth. Yes, what an amazing way to raise our collective consciousness. And that's just one of the causes. There's another one on the inside. You may not know this. I'm going to take 1 second to talk about this. On the inside dot space has been supporting incarcerated women for well over a decade as well. Women who are incarcerated, by the way, are not to be judged. You don't know what happened. You don't know how they got cornered, framed. You have no idea. Hold on. You have no idea. You don't know what kind of situation they were in that got them into this carceral hell. Okay? What we're doing now, aside from founder Nikki Weaver going in there and offering art and theater and creative writing and so many blessings to the women on the inside who do not have these resources. We have now started this year, we are just completing a 200-hour virtual yoga teacher training for 3 women who have recently been released. We are just completing that now. And I co-facilitated it. I've never been more proud of anything ever. And this particular cause, whatever you contribute during this session as a result of this session, goes to supporting further yoga teacher trainings for these women who have currently very few prospects and would like to do something that will actually be of benefit to others and serve in a way that has served them throughout their time locked up. Don't forget what I said. Don't you dare judge the women who are incarcerated. You have no idea what the story is. Okay? Thank you for that. Yeah, as in Abby said, my dear friend served 40 years for a murder she didn't commit. Vicky offering when she used to serve in jail ministry for women, she had the mindset that we are all the same. We all make mistakes. They just got caught. And I'll tell you what, very good, Vicky. There are things for which I could have very easily been locked up. Not kidding. All of us. And she was released last year after 40 years. Thank you, Abby. What a blessing. Page 21 in the introduction, alongside practice, or perhaps embedded deeply within it, thank you for bearing with me on that little tangent, is respect. A quality we learn we can bring to each moment, a sense of heart-based urgency to offer our attention and care to craft interactions laden with the deep listening our world needs. I'm going to read that one more time. Alongside practice, or perhaps embedded deeply within it, is respect. A quality we learn we can bring to each moment a sense of heart-based urgency to offer our attention and care, to craft interactions laden with the deep listening our world needs. This, Jessica, thank you. A justice-impacted woman. Thank you for saying that. I just learned something there. This is page 4 in our guidebook. If you're watching, if you're listening, I'm just showing page 4 right now. Thank you, Laurel. This is a notable teaching that just reached me recently, but it's from earlier this year by John Paul Lederach, who included it in a recent email of his. Lederach is one of the founding voices of modern peace building. If you haven't heard from him, look him up. He often speaks at Upaya Zen Center. He has moved me to tears many, many times on programs and also in his offerings in the chaplaincy program, of which I am now a part and graduating soon. He's known for his emphasis on relationship, imagination, and the slow human work of transforming conflict. So important. John Paul Lederach, bowing deeply to you. So Lederach brings up the work of a man by the name of Mahendra Pandey, Pandey. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. Pandey is a practitioner leader whose work sits at the intersection of lived experience, organizing, and systemic support for communities made invisible. His life story has deeply informed his work. I'll share just a tiny portion of it. He experienced firsthand as a young man migrant labor when his father left to go to Saudi Arabia to work to make money for his family and disappeared. And he went in search of his father because his father disappeared not on purpose, but into the migrant worker system, was unable to be found, was not earning enough money, was being taken advantage of. He later, Mahendra Pandey, helped found and lead the Global Migrant Workers Network. This is all important information because the prompt that you're about to get is coming from this whole lifetime odyssey that he took. And now this network is among the largest global networks supporting migrant labor rights and leadership. And if you know anything, you know how important that is right now. Migrant labor rights. So now he works in labor, forced labor and human trafficking strategy at an org called Humanity United. I've included the sources here in a link in your PDF. He's bringing lived experience into strategic leadership and anti-slavery movement building. In a recent email from Lederach, finally getting to the point, thank you for listening, he recounted asking Mahendra about his theory of change. Okay, theory of change. Do you see the thread that is being woven from the very first moment of this session to now? After a long silence, what is your theory of change? Lederach asked him. After a long silence, he shared, I think it's encouragement. This whole theory of change, this whole lifetime of trying to help a basically unchangeable system, a broken system, says, I think it's encouragement is how we change things. So I ask you, this is not a model, it's not a framework, it's not some sort of intervention scheme. This human is pointing to encouragement as recognition, acknowledgement, visibility, and bestowal of dignity. Whom will you encourage this year? This is what I would like to know. Whom will you encourage this year? Yes, it can be you. I would like for it to also include someone else, at least one person, please. Whom will you encourage this year? And this is, I think, even more important, I can't decide what's more important. It was hard to know. I've switched these two lines many times. How might encouragement become your very infrastructure, personally or professionally? Oh, God. How might encouragement become your very infrastructure, personally or professionally? I'll give you a moment to write. And yes, this is very helpful around conflict resolution. Who needs to be right at this point? We can't. Don't you dare be watching the news on any regular basis, please. If I have anything to do with your reality and you're asking, just don't. Just go to the corner and encourage the kid on the corner waiting for the bus. Go to your community center and encourage someone there. Go to your local penitentiary and encourage someone there. Go to a local senior center and encourage someone there. This is the deal. Yes, and Charlie, this is perfect too. You're doing great. Put your hand on your own heart and encourage yourself too. I do it all day long. You're doing great, girl. Keep going. Everything is fine. You spilled all the cacao. You're doing fine. Hmm. Joanna's committing to encouraging her boyfriend who's struggling with his job and his emotional state. Beautiful. Don't leave yourself out, but also, yes, that. You will find, and this is an important part, and then I'll give you the very last prompt. You will find, this is my hope, is that you will find that when you offer encouragement, the same way when we dedicate at the end of each practice, yoga practice or meditation practice, and we dedicate the merit of our practice, in the very same way, you will find that when you encourage someone else, literally a flow, a fluid energy of encouragement comes coursing through your body and out. You can actually feel it moving through you and emitting from you. That is no joke. That's how healers work, the really finest healers. Dude, Charlie, I hear you. Green tea on the rug last night. You're doing great. Yeah, centering encouragement in your divorce mediation practice, Elizabeth. That is some good wisdom right there. Have you read that book, Better Apart? You got to get that. Because we did that. It wasn't explicitly said, but that is what we did. Better apart. Anyone going through separation or divorce, better apart. I will encourage my elderly mother toward happiness, contentment, physical mobility, and strength. Very good. Mara, thank you. Misha is going to encourage her lover and her daughter, as always. Wonderful. And don't forget, Misha and every one of us, including myself, do not forget, you are also included in this encouragement, please. Without encouraging yourself, you have got nothing to offer. And yes, Annette, your ex-husband, I encourage my ex-husband all the time, dude. So does James. It's a practice. We have a practice. So beautiful. And that's nice to hear that Better Apart was a gift in your divorce. That is like my very biggest dream right there. We're definitely in the top 5. Shall we go to the final? I'm doing so well on time. I'm impressed with myself. Who's been or is currently a source of encouragement to you? And you can actually, what I would recommend actually, as you write, thanks, Pamela. You can write their name down in the chat. You can whisper their name out loud. Who has been a source of encouragement to you? And there's a second part to that, but I want to see names first. Go. Chatterfall. Get in there. I'm going to say their names out loud. Kathy, Roger, Papa, Danielle, Mom, Donatella, Mother, Martha. Oh, how nice. Somebody's naming Martha. That's so sweet. Myself, Allie, best friend, daughter, Stefan, my son, partner David, teacher Manshin. Me too. Eve and Melissa, 3-year-old daughter, Leanne, Allison, animals, April, Raquel, Christina, me. We'll take it. Vita and Kerry, very good. James and Elena, says Janet. Ryan, my husband, says Amy. Beautiful. And me. Vidyamala, me, your pets. How beautiful, Joe. Manuela, Claudia, Jim, Paul, my mother, my teachers, Anat, God, my angels, Kate Waitskin, Kate, Elena, Casey, Jacinta, Suzanne, beautiful. Werner, partner, me, kids, Tracy. Judy's naming Tracy, Stanley, Sonia, Isabel, yoga teachers, Richard, Jackie, yoga student Pat, who had a stroke, Dogan, Elena, Catherine, my husband, myself, Sandra, my coach. Okay, the final question before we open it up to your questions, and you can feel free to put them into the Q&A at the bottom of your little screen. If you click onto your cursor, there's a Q&A button down there with a question mark. And Smartello, of course. Last question, how might you engage in that relationship more intentionally with that person who's been a source of encouragement or is a source to you? How might you engage in that relationship a little more intentionally? We have over 100 people on this call right now. And I want to thank you for being here. How might you engage in that relationship more intentionally? Really think about it and really make yourself a note. Yeah, and feel free to share how you plan to engage in this relationship more intentionally. Please feel free in the chat if you wish. Say it out loud. And then I have a section of hold nothing that I'd like to read if I don't see any questions. Be more demanding lovingly. Good. I will choose intentional time to connect and share my heart's love and gratitude. Be in relationship. That's very good. To continue showing up, leaning into the discomfort with a willingness to be kind and sweet. Do good work in their name. Create art in their honor. Nice. Show up, spend time, speak up, engage, ask for help. That's a great one. Pause, notice, be attentive. Express gratitude. I love all of these things. I would like even more specificity if you can stand it, if I can be annoying. Even more specificity. Are you going to text once a week? Are you going to receive the phone call that you persist in not receiving? Are you going to answer an email that you don't answer? Are you going to delete an email that you typically do answer that you probably shouldn't? Specifically, what will you do to intentionally foster this relationship? I would like more specificity. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Annette is writing call. Michelle is, I will sit even when I'm obsessing with time. Clara is going to write little notes to herself of what those people said, wrote, and take it with her as a guide through the day. How beautiful. Excellent. Katya will pause and consult her nervous system. That's well done. Charlie will insist your papa takes better care of his health, lifts weights, keeps himself strong. That's cool. Good. It's hard to do. Just saying, like, that's hard. People have to have a worthy inquiry. Go visit mom and dad regularly. Good. Do morning pages daily. Good. Have the confidence to ask even when I don't feel worthy. Yes, Meg. That's what I'm talking about. You of all people, my God. Worthiness. Work in the 12 steps. Excellent. Seasonal get-togethers. That's cool. You can even plan the dates right now. Be there and listening to others, asking for help and trusting instead of isolating and spinning. Yeah. Honoring my word, showing up prepared. That's a good one, showing up prepared. You guys can't see that. It's just a host and panelist, but showing up prepared is a really good one. And I would even ask further, showing up prepared to what? For whom? When? These are little love notes. This little thing, this little guidebook, or anywhere you're writing, this is a little love note to your future self. Take care of your future self. Give yourself the instruction that you need from this very clear space during this relatively open hour. Leave the notes for yourself. Currently road tripping with hubs and kids, choosing to listen. Good for you. Oh, hey, which one of you is this? Scheduling walks and talks. Oh, hey, Kath. Thank you. Thank you so much. Scheduling walks and talks with 3 friends afar. Excellent. Sending that heart to my sister every day. Excellent. That's the specificity that I'm talking about. These are instructions you're giving to your future self. Please be specific. Okay. All right. I want to open up to questions. And there is one question. Dear Elena. Oh, hi, Sharon. So nice to see you. Dear Elena, your work with hospice care is so admirable. I don't want to put you on the spot here by asking what you think happens when we leave our physical body, but I do want to ask if you think about it because I do. Yeah, I think about that all the time. And guess what my answer is? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I knew, but I don't know. Do you know? It's a really fun consideration, and I love thinking about it and just watching people exit and feeling the energy and knowing very much that there is an energy that departs somehow. Where does it go? I don't know. Any other questions? We got some time here. What do you think happens, Sierra? Happens to a body when it dies? Wow, what a question. Sierra's been working with the dying since she was 5. Not kidding. She's 46, 45. Almost 46. Almost 46 now. Here. What happens to a body when it dies? Well, we go back to the earth. We go back to the earth. I'm saying this, I'm repeating so that I'm sure that the recording is good. I feel our spirit really dissolves into all the love we ever had the great privilege of living. Our spirit dissolves into all the love we've ever had the great privilege of living, receiving. And that love never dies. Love never dies. Dude. ChooseNurture.com. Put me on the spot. Sorry to put you on the spot. Thank you. Sharon is sorry that she put us both on the spot, but I think it's worth it to keep that conversation open. What happens when the body dies? Okay, oh, there's another cue. How do you deal with an ex-husband that doesn't want to go to mediation? Seems to choose hate forever when it comes to you. This is a wonderful question. Okay, raise your hand if this even remotely pertains to you. How do you deal with someone who is hating despite your best efforts? Raise your hand if this pertains to you, please. 12 people so far. Okay, so this is relevant. We can't change people's minds. We can't control people's behavior. What we can do is continue to come from our hearts and live in our truth. And your truth might be heaps of kindness in the face of this. For many moons, this was my truth, and I was faced also with a similar rancor, not just from my ex-husband, from many other humans in my space. I have continued to show up the way that I want to show up. This is the most important thing you can do, and unwaveringly so, so that this person, anytime they even consider you, you have never wavered from the way that you're showing up with kindness. And maybe someday, maybe that will become apparent to them, and perhaps something will shift quietly. Some other wisdom from other humans. Heather is offering that she sends love and lets it go so she can lay her head peacefully. Elizabeth is offering that she will try to deliver things the way this person can receive them. And Ruth has sent a question. In your experience, and perhaps the experiences of your esteemed cohorts in the space with you today, if they are willing, what are the most impactful ways we can join our efforts with those of others to make a real impact in the world? Walk to the corner, Ruth, and go into the library, go into the senior center, go into the hospice in your town, go into the hospital in your town, and offer your time. 1 hour a week, 2, 3, whatever you feel you can spare. That's how you change the world. You donate to the causes that I have offered you to donate because I know firsthand both founders. I know them. I know where this money is going. I have been moved to create a 501c3 that I am opening next year in order to take money in from the work that I do so that no longer am I earning and paying taxes on it. I'm going to give it straight. Took a long time, but 55 years, I'm starting to get the picture. That's how you can have an impact. Someone around here. Exactly. Michelle and I have a joke. Whenever a good idea comes, we're just like, someone around here knows what they're doing. I love it. Ruth, how does that land with you? Be honest. If you want more, I'm happy to share more. We've got 3 more questions. What to do when scarcity is showing up during the night again and again, despite the practice? So scarcity doesn't just show up. Okay, Annette? I am choosing to entertain thoughts of scarcity. When they arise, the brain emits thoughts all the time. That is its job. Whatever thought I latch onto is the one that will stick around. If I choose to latch onto the thought of scarcity, that of course I'd also have, that will stick around. If I choose to latch onto the love that Sierra just spoke of, that sticks around.
Create.
And yeah, and also create. Thank you, Sierra.
Consume.
Create rather than consume. We were just talking about this. Thank you to my friend Ange. Create rather than consume. Get off of the Instagram. Go on, get the information you need, get the link you need, whatever it is that you need. Love your friend and get off. Get out. Make something of your own. With all due respect, I say this. Nara has a question. How can I support my child who is struggling with uncontrollable anger and rage, particularly towards her sister? NVC all the way home. Nonviolent communication. Encourage that child to have empathy for themselves first. How human of me to feel anger. How human of me to feel rage toward this person. How human of me. The moment I soften and feel my own humanity, I begin to think of this other person toward whom I have this anger and this rage as another human. And I realize, oh my God, the behavior that they are manifesting that may or may not be linked to the rage that I'm feeling is also human. Holy shit. Wow. How interesting. NBC, all the way. Michelle just put the book in the chat. With a child that's flown the nest, Charlie is asking, what choice or practice are you most proud of that you did with your kid while he was growing up? Jimmy.
Let him fuck up on his own. Just let him do his thing.
Okay, we're going to have a curse here, and I'm going to repeat what Jimmy just said that worked, because he was actually resisting that I did this for a time. I let my child fuck up. I let him screw up all the time. And he didn't do it all that much, if I'm honest, just a few handful of times. But I didn't rage at him. I didn't come down on him. I did at other inappropriate times with small things, but I cleared that as soon as I caught it enough. But I let him make big mistakes, and I didn't come down on him. I let him be. And he was able, in my quietude, to see what his behavior had wrought in his life, in his body, in his brain. And he made choices to ameliorate the prior choices that were not beneficial to him. So that. Amy, I have learned how to be in the moment with my mom, seeing her with more compassion. But how do I handle the collateral damage when she leaves? That is to say, holiday get-togethers. The pain of our relationship often comes through later and lingers. So if I'm going to go and embody Judith Hanson Lassiter for a moment, I'm going to say, pain is not lingering. It may feel painful and sad in your heart, but there is no sort of ethereal, ephemeral energy of pain that's lingering. You are having a feeling, Amy, and that's a real feeling. You are feeling sad. I am feeling sad. I am feeling so sad that my need for respect and mutuality from my mom is not being met. My need for love is not being met. How human of me to feel this way. And suddenly, this cloud of pain lingering becomes what it actually is, which is just a passing emotion in my heart. And I am reminded of how human I am. And this passing emotion can continue moving on. There's a beautiful line. The blue sky does not obstruct the white clouds passing. Something like that. Jax, you know. The blue sky does not obstruct the white clouds passing or flying, maybe even is the line. Okay? Do not obstruct the way this feeling, Amy, is passing through you, because it is still passing. Don't call it something it isn't, and don't give it a power it doesn't have. Cool. And I cannot thank you enough for that gift. Amy sent me these two books from her. Were they your grandmother's? Oh my God. Zen drawing books. Unreal. Like just so thoughtful. Don't give those away to the random bookstore or the Goodwill. Send them to me. They are so appropriate. What a beautiful gift. Thank you again. I'll still send a thank you note. Meg, love this conversation. In a world of so many seemingly good paths to take in life and career, I feel I don't know what I want for this year. I'm cultivating ease and letting go of everything that's no longer serving. How do you take action when everything feels uncertain? You do nothing. Nothing. The three tenets, let's go back to the basics. Not knowing. These are all practices we take on, Meg. Not knowing, bearing witness, to myself, to the feelings, to the clouds passing, and taking compassionate action, which often means going back to number one. I have no idea. That is the most compassionate action I could take right now. I have no idea. So, Meg, in your case, because I know you, you continue doing the work that you're doing. You do it to the best of your ability. You continue to study and finding other things. What else? What would you like to wake up in the morning and do? Write constantly about this. Keep this question right in front of you. Let your hair be curly some days. Become somebody else. You have so much capacity, Meg. Just keep the question close and don't feel like you need to have an answer. All those years that we were taught, especially as girls, especially in this fucking country, that we need to know the answer to things. All of it should be verified. I do not need to know the answer. As this whole session started, I don't need to know the answer. I do not need to achieve. I do not need to be perfect. I don't need to know. I need to keep asking. Betty has a great question. How to help my feminist daughter not be angry at the world. I want to be very thoughtful here. You know, this world is so many things. This world is full. If you only knew of the world, this session right now, you would think, wow, this world is a beautiful fucking world. Unbelievable. Look at all these people paying such careful attention, giving so much care and patience to each other. Wow. Then you open up CNN and you get a whole different world. And then you open up Fox, you get a whole different world. Then you go to DC and you get a different world. Go to Florida, go to Europe, have a meal, eat vegetables in Europe, and then go to the middle of this country and eat a vegetable. Two worlds. What is this world? What you can do, Betty, for your daughter is uphold your practices. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to her. Tell her that you're listening. Tell her that you understand. Be an ear for her without fixing one thing. She does not need to be cured. She does not need to be helped. She just needs to be heard. She will eventually come to her own conclusions and figure things out in her own time, just like you did. Betty, let me know if that serves. Anonymous. My husband and daughter have a different love language than me, for lack of a better vocabulary. So, can I learn to find wholeness there when I feel a different need is unmet? I need details. I want details. If you can give me details, put them in the Q&A. I'm not going to say your name because you're not sharing it, so you're good. Give me details. Let's get in. We have a few minutes. Pamela, I've seen you change without losing your essence since 2017 when we met to now, 8 years. What 3 changes in addition to no more F-bombs, huh? Well, there were 2. What 3 changes have set you the most free and why? Wow. And you're welcome, Catherine. And to Kathleen too, yes, sometimes anger does promote change. Be very careful. Don't spend your anger all in one place. Don't obstruct the clouds passing. What 3 changes have set you the most free? Well, I think number 1 is having a meditation practice, and that's what we're going to do now. And I'll walk you through why when we sit momentarily. And anonymous attendee, I see your question and I'll address it before we sit. Sitting is 1. 2 is actually learning about the way of the bodhisattva, and that is a thing. It is a thing to want others to be awakened before me. That has been so helpful to me. Oh my God, to decenter myself, not in a way that drains me, but in a way that feeds me. So that's 2. And 3, no offense to the males on this call. Women teachers. Yeah. Live women teachers. Okay, let's go back to this. Husband and kid are, their love languages, acts of service, physical touch, both of them. And you are, what is QT? Quality time and talking. Huh. And you feel lonely. How human of you to feel lonely. What other feelings, I wonder, do you have? I'm going to put the feelings and needs list in the chat because I think it's important. Why not? Someday I'm going to teach this again, maybe even on my own. I think it's time. Hold on. This is going into the chat now. Feelings and needs list. I'll make sure this is included in the recording materials as well. Take a look at that anonymous attendee, please. Tell me what other feelings you're having aside from lonely, and then we're going to sit. My guess is sad. And, you know, your need for a conversation and your need for quality time is not being met. And I think that you can use nonviolent communication to state what you're feeling, what your needs are, and also encourage them to do the same and meet somewhere in the middle. Like, hey, Sundays are for my love language and Saturdays are yours. I think that's important. Thank you, Pamela. Melancholy, exasperated, and sad. How human of you to feel these things. How human. I'd like for you to put your hand on your heart and just acknowledge in the whole sentence, wow, when I think about the fact that our love languages are so different, I feel melancholy, exasperated, sad, and lonely. My need for a conversation, my need for quality time, my need for some sort of mutual attention is not being met. How human of me to feel this way. And say this a million times until you feel full of empathy, all the way up to here. And then when you feel full of empathy, and this sentence is so natural in your heart, you go to them and you say, hey, when I think about this sort of divergent path that we're on, I feel these things. My needs for these things are not being met. I wonder, can I take Sunday afternoon for my needs and then give you Sunday morning for yours? And just see how much fun that could be. What a blessing. Why don't we know how to do this? Why is nonviolent communication not taught in elementary school? Why? Why is that? I'm very curious. Good, I'm glad that is serving you. Wonderful. Let's sit together, shall we? Okay. I'm putting on my Christmas sweater from Jimmy. I hope you love the color as much as I do. I know it's too good. Okay. Sitting tall. Just have about 8 minutes. I think this is a perfect amount of time. And I'm going to read the chapter on page 147 as we sit. If you would rather be in silence, just mute. You'll see my mouth moving. But I think it's important. This sitting practice has been a source of great steadiness for me. This is definitely one of the changes that have set me the most free. This chapter, this section is called The Love Surrounding You. In our times of deep divisiveness, laced with generations of dehumanization and marginalization, our shared integrity is consistently challenged. We all know this to some degree, and our willingness to see it and admit our role is an expression of our grandmother's heart and action, crucial to our collective healing. So here's the section, the personal story of this particular chapter. When I meet Brian Francis, also known as White Bear, I feel an instant sense of kinship. Brian is from the Mi'kmaq Nation of New Brunswick in northeastern Canada. Brian's writing, art, and steadfast friendship provide a safe landing, as well as a first-hand perspective on the prolonged experience of being marginalized and dehumanized since he was a child. His art and writing are reflective of his willingness to begin again, to forgive, walking us all closer to spirit with consistent respect. He reminds us to offer our care to nature and her mysterious beauty. His forgiveness makes an indelible impression upon me. In his book, Between Two Worlds, Spiritual Writings and Photographs, Brian implores us, quote, "We must remain humble, loving, caring, and sincere in order for us to hear the teachings within our own hearts. Set aside the ego and look beyond to see the beauty of creation all around. All was created for us while here on our medicine walk. Let us be open to receive the love that surrounds us." One of Brian's gifts to me is a simple greeting offered during one of our meandering, nurturing phone calls. In his tradition, when a ceremony has come to an end, a prayer is said, "Emset Nogma," which means all my relations. This acknowledges the ancestors who've passed on, honoring every one of them since the beginning. They are each who we are today. Those who've come before us make us who we are. Brian opens this portal of respect so I can honor every single ancestor of mine with one breath, one moment of consciousness, even though they fought mercilessly around the table. They showed up in such conflicting ways, gave mixed messages, substantively shifting how I show up. Brian's understanding is changing the words I use, the care with which I move, and the ways in which I bring my heart to those who show me love. We are asked to care deeply for our internal experience so we can care for others. We are asked to stop objectifying fellow living beings, to cease dehumanizing people with whom we don't agree. We are called to create contexts of kinship, connection, and community. There's more on page 149, but I'm going to hold there. Kinship, connection, and community. We have 4 minutes here in the quiet to sit together and settle. Feel the practice literally emerging from the ground beneath you through your body. Feel the care and attention you can offer to yourself as you sit and notice a thought and let it fly. Feel this word encouragement alive in your body. Know that you are exactly where you need to be. This is our final minute together today. Please savor every breath. You can bring your hands into Gasho. Spine tall. Pray your hands, fingertips right in front of your nose, about a fist's width away. Feel the height of your body. Feel the transmission of benefit ricocheting between us, from you to the people you love, to the people for whom you intend your practice to land, for people whom you will never know, who will benefit from our shared time together today. May the merit of this practice reach far and wide. Feel your body full of encouragement, warmth. Feel the feeling we share. I am wishing you a wonderful turn of the year. And thank you so much for your practice. Thank you so much. All the best from all of us here.